Have you ever wondered if all the constant struggling is, well, optional? Today, we're diving into a whole new set of rules, a new playbook for a life that feels less like a fight and a whole lot more effortless. So let's just start with this question, because I think it gets right to the heart of it. That feeling of constantly pushing a giant boulder uphill, day after day, just feeling completely exhausted. What if it's not actually supposed to feel this hard?
And right off the bat, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined, you are not broken. The problem isn't you. It's the set of invisible rules you've been playing by. Rules that make everything feel so much heavier than it needs to be.
Yeah, think of it like this. You've been playing life on hard mode without even realizing it. These hidden rules are kind of like the default settings in a video game. And today, we're going to learn how to go into the settings and change them.
So how do we actually do that? How do we make the switch? Well, it all starts with our inner game. It's time to shift our mindset from being purely emotional to being way more systematic.
All right, here's rule number 1 of hard mode that we've all been guilty of. Waiting for inspiration. Waiting until we feel like doing the thing. But in effortless mode, we do something totally different. We don't wait, we build a system.
Because let's be real for a second, motivation is kind of a scam. It's like emotional caffeine. It gives you this amazing spike of energy, and then, inevitably, you crash, leaving you right back where you started. People living in effortless mode don't rely on it. They build systems that just run, whether they feel like it or not.
Okay, but what about when things go wrong? Because they will. In hard mode, a bad day can feel like a total catastrophe, right? But in effortless mode, you learn to treat it just like bad weather. I mean, you don't like the rain, but you don't cancel your entire life because of it. You know it's annoying, you know it's temporary, and you know it's ultimately irrelevant to your big picture goals.
And this is what that really looks like. The secret isn't some superhuman level of discipline. Nope. It's just refusing to turn a failure into a drama. So you messed up? Okay, resume immediately. One little slip-up does not have to become a complete spiral.
Now this next rule it's just so perfectly illustrated by this chart. Look at this. When you aim for that perfect hour-long workout, what often happens? You see it on the left. You do it 0 times a week. But what if you aim for just 5 minutes? Look at the right. Suddenly, you're showing up 5 days a week. It's a paradox, isn't it? Lowering the bar is actually the secret to raising your consistency.
You got to remember this. 5 minutes of actually doing something is infinitely better than 0 minutes of planning to be perfect. The habits that really change your life aren't the most intense ones. They're the ones that are so ridiculously, embarrassingly easy that you just can't say no.
Okay, so we've started to tweak our inner game. Now it's time to talk about our outer world. This is all about designing your physical space so that willpower basically becomes obsolete.
In hard mode, our main strategy is just to muscle through temptation. We rely on willpower, but willpower is like a muscle or a phone battery. It runs out. In effortless mode, we stop trying to fight these constant battles, and we start designing our environment so that the right choice is actually the easiest choice to make.
So how do you do that? It's pretty simple, actually. You let the room do the heavy lifting for you. You make your distractions inconvenient, literally put your phone in another room when you need to focus. You make your goals visible, leave your running shoes right by the front door. And you remove every tiny piece of friction from the good habits you want to build. Trust me, when you change the room, your behavior just follows. It's almost automatic.
And this leads to something really powerful. See, every little decision you have to make throughout the day drains a little bit of your energy. It's called decision fatigue. Effortless people get this, so they decide once. They build routines and systems so that the need to constantly decide just disappears. And you know what happens when decisions vanish? Momentum shows up.
Oh, this next one is a huge game changer. We've all done it. We trick ourselves into believing that hours and hours of planning and thinking is productive work. It's usually not. Overthinking is just fear wearing a really smart-looking pair of glasses. It's procrastination in disguise. Effortless people know that you don't think your way to clarity, you act your way to clarity. Which brings us to our final set of rules. We've worked on our inner game, we've designed our outer world, now it's time to learn how to play the long game. And this is all about focusing on what truly lasts, our identity and the incredible power of compounding effort.
You see, chasing goals is classic hard mode. You run the marathon, you get the medal, and then what? The driving force is gone. In effortless mode, the focus shifts from a temporary outcome to building a permanent identity.
And to build that new identity, you have to fiercely protect your most valuable currency.
And I'm not talking about time. I'm talking about your energy. You have to stop giving your best, most creative hours to tasks and people that just drain you dry. You have to learn to say no early and often. If something consistently costs you your energy, it's just too expensive, period.
This is really the heart of that identity shift. Don't just try to write a book. Focus on becoming a writer. Don't just try to run a 5K. Focus on becoming a runner. When you shift your focus to being that type of person, the actions, the writing, the running, they start to feel natural. They feel like part of you, not like something you're forcing yourself to do.
And finally, you have to truly understand this. Consistency will always, always beat intensity. Effortless people aren't about extreme all-or-nothing bursts of effort. They're incredibly patient. They know that small daily actions, repeated over and over again, are what reshape your entire life. Just let time do the heavy lifting for you.
So there you have it. This is your new blueprint. And if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that an effortless life isn't a lazy one. Not at all. It's a smarter, more intentional, and incredibly well-designed one.
Let's just look at the whole shift, side by side. We're moving from chasing motivation to building systems, from fearing failure to resuming immediately, from relying on willpower to designing our environment, and from chasing fleeting goals to building a lasting identity. This right here, this is the blueprint for playing a much, much better game.
Because in the end, you don't need more grit or more hustle or more discipline. You just need better rules. And when you finally decide to change the rules of the game you're playing, you'll be amazed to find that life kind of stops fighting you at every single turn.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Which of those invisible, hard mode rules are you going to break first?